Hey guys, I hope you're all well. Right, a few BMW things. But before that, as you know, the special stickers have been closed, removed. If you give us chance, well, give Tracy chance to get caught up and get everyone's out. She's getting a little bit agitated, so I'm staying out the way, and my anxiety is starting to go skyward. I'll be glad when it's all done and dusted. So yeah, give us a little bit of time, not much time, for her to catch up with things and for everyone to receive their sticker. Again, if you've not received your sticker, please don't panic. We duplicate every single one, so you're not missing out. You will be in the hat for the draw, and we can send you the sticker out if it's been lost in the post or anything like that. So don't panic if you haven't got it, please. She's trying to go through all the messages and everything. It's, as usual, it's quite overwhelming. So we're doing our absolute best this end to get it all tied up to do the draw, hopefully within this week. Worst scenario, over the weekend, Monday. We're doing our best. Anyway, BMW. So I've been collecting parts over the last couple of weeks. As you've seen, we took it for a ride and pleasantly surprised with that. As I said, a little bit hard on the front end, but as like going down trails and things like that, it's all right. It ain't bad at all. Anything sort of more extreme and rough, and then yes, it does struggle a bit with the weight of it and the suspension. So hopefully my little idea with the front suspension will work. We'll go through that in a minute. There may be mixed opinions on that, and a little bit of a grey area, but I'm going to do it. It's going to be sort of a custom bike anyway, and we do sort of yeah, do things we shouldn't maybe on some builds, but I think this will be okay. So far, as you know, we have the forks. They're all sorted. I'm very happy with them. And we have the wheel, albeit missing 8 spokes. And like I said before, I'm pretty sure with a little bit of magic here and there, we're going to get that to fit no problem at all. And I believe the disc off the front of this will fit that hub. So this wheel is off a, let me get this right, BMW F850 GS. I think I've got that right, and I believe it was the later ones that ran the 21-inch front wheel. And I believe the hub is exactly the same as what's in the 1250 GS. So the spokes, I think someone mentioned this in the comments as well. Yes, BMW did have a problem with spokes coming loose. Not sure if that's what's happened here, but they did have a problem with some of the models and spokes coming loose. Although I did do a bit of investigating on that, and it doesn't mention the F850. Not what I can see anyway. So maybe these have been took out and robbed for another wheel. I do not know. I've no idea. But we'll get the spokes, we'll put it right, and I think I will put a tiny dab of Loctite on these as I build the wheel back up. I've got a spoke out, so I've got a copy of it so I can go and get some. These spokes are 3.5 and 215mm long. The bit I read on this about the spokes coming loose was something to do with coatings or something. That's BMW's excuse anyway. And the bit I read, they wouldn't do it as a recall. It was just on the service intervals to check spokes and requesting owners to check their own spokes. Which is not brilliant really, is it? I read of 2 accidents happening because of the problem, but yeah, we'll build this. We'll put a bit of Loctite on them and just do what we can to make it safe. Right, what else we got? We've been getting a few other bits and bobs. Like I say, we'll go through some of the ideas in a moment, but that is subject to change, as you know. At any point, overnight, different mindset in the mornings and all that business. You know, the usual thing. I make something one day and don't like it the next. All that's going to happen with this build, most probably. We'll see. So I've pretty much got everything ready for the front end now, bar tyres. I've chose tyres. What tyres? Oh, what was the name of them? Michelin Anarchy, that's it. Michelin Anarchy Wild. They seem like a bit more of an aggressive tread pattern, which will be a lot better in the mud and grass and dirt. So we've got switch gear. These are exactly the same what's on the KTM. So I know they work, I know they're all right with water and mud and everything like that. So as this is going to be a build that's got to work, I weren't going for really fancy custom switches. I wanted to put something on that I know isn't going to fail with putting the bike through the paces over rough terrain and water and dirt and everything like that. So that's the same as the KTM. Obviously that just slips onto the bars. So on that we've got horn, kill switch, light switch, and down here indicators. So that's nice and compact really. On the other side we've got the starter button. I believe this is what they put on the CRF, the Honda CRFs, I think. So that's nice and neat. Again, if it goes on the CRFs, it's proven to withstand all the abuse that the bike's going to get. Throttle, we have a single cable once. It's a single cable on it. I guess it goes down so far, then it's got some sort of splitter in there to 2 cables. Is that domino or domino? I do not know. But yeah, that's all sorted. We have the bearings for the headstock, which I'm going to show you in a moment. We have the front mudguard turned up. As you can see, that light slots straight into it with 2 little pins here. I've come up with an idea for it to fit the bottom yoke. That's going to be a very, very simple thing to do. So I think that'll look all right. And obviously, I can only imagine a lot lighter than what's on it. I have the Speedo ordered, which I think should be here tomorrow. So obviously, instead of this huge big cluster of things here, I've got a little, let me carry on with that sentence. I've got a little Speedo come in. What makes that as well? Cosso. And it's got the warning lights in it. So it's only sort of so big, square, and it comes with like different brackets. So I've got a few options of where to mount it and stuff like that. And then it'll have a pickup and a magnet on the wheel, I guess. I'll probably send that to the back wheel actually, so it's out of the way. So yeah, I'm hoping that will be here tomorrow. So I'm thinking as I'm going on, because I've got so much going on in my empty head about this bike, and I have changed my mind quite a lot just thinking about it. So Speedo here tomorrow. Oh yeah, master cylinders. Now I got these second hand off a BMW dealer. I can't even remember what that is. My mind's gone. So it's all the stress down the house at the minute. I'm staying out of the way. It's blowing my mind. Right, James, I think it's James Sherlock, this BMW parts dealer. So these are on eBay, and I thought, you know what, they've offered 1200 GS, I do believe. So we definitely know they're going to work, and they're going to pull the anchors on with no trouble at all. So these apparently have got fancy levers in them, aftermarket levers by a company called again, I can't think, Wunderlicher, something like that. I don't know. Let's try and get one out. And they've been absolute tip-top condition. I think they're off a really low mileage bike that they've obviously broke for spares. But yeah, it's got fancy little levers in there, look. They're all adjustable at the back, so you can alter the length of them. You can see how tidy they are with a little pop. Probably not the prettiest of levers to some, but we 100% know they're gonna work, definitely. And I didn't really want to go to the expense of aftermarket Brembo stuff or anything like that, because that's just horrific. And we want the bike right, but we're still trying to be careful with what's spent on it. I know some bits are unavoidable, but where we can, we'll watch what we're spending. So here's the other side. The pot's a bit bigger on that side. Again, they're in cracking condition. They are. Very good condition. Also, I've got the handlebars come in. So yeah, pretty much everything is either here or on its way for the front end to be complete. What else we got? Oh, I got an exhaust silencer. Now again, I was looking at loads of different silencers, didn't want a standard one. I've actually had that standard one off, and the weight of that is quite insane. It's really heavy and huge. It is massive. So I thought I'd get a little one. There I go again with the little one. And I thought I'd run the risk of a silencer made in a certain part of the world that we normally try and avoid. But this came this morning and I was pleasantly surprised. Really surprised. Considering if you go for some of the top brands, you could be like £500, £500 for a silencer. And that wasn't happening. So I've run the risk because I wanted it to be quite small so I can tuck it away right up as high as possible on the bike. So I went for this. I ran the risk. It was dirt cheap. So I'm trying to get it out of the bag. Give me a minute. And like I say, 1 second. I was very pleasantly surprised with the quality of it. Look at that. How about that? That's not bad at all, is it? It's all nicely shaped. The finish is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, very surprised. I'm glad I took the risk. I really am. And it will definitely do for this build. At least if you do have a tumble on this bike, it's normally the silencer that takes the brunt of it as you fall off on that side. I'm not going to be crying because I've destroyed £400 or £500 worth of silo if it had Yoshimura on it or something like that. Although, what I did find really funny with this silencer, you get a choice what brand you want it to be. These stickers came with the silencer. It did make me smile. So you can either have it as a KO Lightning, or you can have it as a Yoshi. How about that? Choose which brand it is. 2 silencers for the price of 1. Oh, I don't know. They get away with some stuff, them Chinese people, don't they? I shouldn't say that, should I? No, I've said it. Whoops. But yeah, I'm really pleasantly surprised with that. It's more than good enough for this. And what was it? I think it was 60 quid. 65 quid, which is a damn sight better than 400 or 500. Yeah, happy with that. I'll be able to tuck that up nice and high and out the way. It's got a decibel killer in there as well that's removable. Like I say, look at it. Makes you wonder how these posh, expensive brands justify the cost when you see something like that for 60 quid. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Right, so lots of ideas flowing with the bike, as you can probably imagine. I'll go through the front end in a minute, the grey area, which may cause a bit of discussion. I do not know. We'll see. Anyway, the back end, I've said before, it is coming off. I'm changing that completely to a much tidier seat, hopefully like a little white plastic enduro mudguard with a light in. I'm going to make my own luggage system for this bike, because if I go anywhere it will carry soft panniers. So I'm taking all the BMW luggage hangers off, hopefully sell them to pump a bit of money back into the project. And what I will do, when I've made the new subframe for the rear, I shall do some hidden lugs. So if I want to go anywhere, I'm saying like I'm keeping this, so I'll get to that bit as well in a bit. A frame, I'll make a frame that can bolt to it. But if you're just, you know, going out for a day's fun, you won't want all that on, so it'll just unbolt and take it off. Now the front end, let's get to that. Let's see if I'll get a caning in the comments. Right, on this, they haven't really got an headstock. They haven't really, it's not really a frame. It's like a great big bracket coming off the top of the engine. A big alloy bracket. When you take it off, it just looks like a giant wishbone off a car or a truck. And it's alloy, it's all hollow. You know, I believe the top yoke is on like a ball joint. I could be wrong there, but I think that's how it goes. And obviously we got all this telelever thing going on here. As you can see, the spring going up there. Obviously we will see more when the bike comes apart. You'll see exactly what I mean. So we'll call it the headstock, although it doesn't resemble an headstock at all when you see it up close. It goes from about here to here under the tank. It's not a very big bracket. It's got a sort of an arm that bolts, a solid arm that bolts, and I believe it's got then a braced arm that bolts both ends. So here's the grey area. I'm going to make my own frame for that bit. Obviously we're going to change the rear subframe a tiny bit, but I'm going to make my own frame to carry a normal headstock. And to cover myself, I'm going to say that that's for off-road use only. Just to, yeah, cover myself. But what I am going to do, everything I do to that front end, it will be reversible if needed. It's not going to be permanent, and I will keep the original front end to this bike. So yeah, it will be reversible if needed. So I've started the headstock, been stood at this lathe all day, just slowly taking my time. I think this is a big chunk of metal for this little lathe. I think I've been pushing my luck with it a bit, but it's took me all day. So I've been really taking my time on it. And all your engineers out there, don't look at my little setup. It's all I could think of to hold it still. So yeah, don't shout at me too much. So what I've done, I've popped a bearing in the top of this to hold it all still while I'm turning it. As you can see, I've got down to here. I've got to take the rest of that off and then tidy this bit up, and obviously we'll have a top bearing and a bottom bearing. So it will be a conventional headstock. And then I've got tubes up here, seamless tubes, that I'm going to build the little frame up the top there to hold all the headstock. And I think the way I'm going to do it, it's going to be more than strong enough, because I'm going to use all the mounting points where the telly lever is as well to bring the frame down and connect to where that's mounted as well. So basically, if we're going to have the headstock up here, I'll make a jig from this original part, so all the mounting points are absolutely spot on. It'll be all tube work and trellised, so we got the ultimate strength. I'll also bring some frame tubes down as if it was going to continue into a cradle, and then bring them off down into here and use these mounting points as well. So although this will be gone, we'll just have some nice 32mm tubes, and then obviously all that will be powder coated. So I think it'll look quite smart. And off these tubes, the down tubes that we're bringing down and across into here, that'll also give me a mounting point for the oil cooler, which at the minute is in here. So yeah, that'll give me the perfect mounting point for that cooler. And I'll make a little guard over the front of it, and when it's in place, I'll have lines. It's a place very local to here, literally 5 minutes up the road. We'll make any lines, braided, whatever size, whatever ends, anything you like, while you wait at the counter. They're very good. So I'll get all that sorted there. I don't know if I've mentioned, but this bike's already had the ABS removed, which is good. The whole unit's gone. I've had the tank up and checked. If anybody knows, I'd like to know the weight of that ABS unit. I've had a brief look, I can't find out what it weighed, but that is already gone, so we can cross that off. We can cross that weight off the bike. So all the brakes work absolutely fine. The brakes are perfect on this bike, so I'm happy about that. That's already been done. But we're using different brakes on the front anyway, obviously, with this front end here. So yeah, this is already had the ABS removed. All this will be gone. This great big collector here, I'll make my own little pipe work down here, and obviously then we'll send a link pipe up on the other side for our little cheapo silencer. I keep looking at that, I'm so happy with it. I really am. Can't complain, can you, at that? I'm sure it's 60 quid. Weren't a lot. What should we have? Should we have it as a KO Lightning? Or should we have it as a Yoshi? Oh, upside down. I think we'll have it as nothing. Just leave them both off. So that's basically where we are so far. Can't think of anything else at the moment. So yeah, the front end, I know some people probably get a bit itchy about that, what I'm going to do, but I'm determined to do it because it's in my head and I really want to do it. I know it's a grey area, and like I say, it is going to be reversible if needed. So I'm not worrying about it too much. I think it will be a lot better off-road, soaking up the bumps with that front end on. Definitely. So this week, I don't even know what day it is, we'll have the tank off in the next video and the seat, so you can see exactly what I mean with that weird thing that's holding the handlebars on at the moment. Yeah, you'll see exactly what it's like. Some of you may have these and know exactly what it's like, but yeah, it's quite a strange setup. But we'll make some really nice framework in there. Lots of gussets. I know how you all like a gusset, so we'll do all that with a bit of trellis work, and it'd be more than strong enough. I think that's about it. My mind's a million mile an hour with it. It really is. I'm so much looking forward to getting cracking properly on it. Although I suppose officially we have started with the headstock. With how I'm taking my time, I've probably got another day's work on that. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of questions that could pop up in the comments. It's very difficult. Some of your questions are fantastic, by the way, and obviously I do appreciate all the comments, fors and against. That's what the comment section's for. I don't get angry against. I really don't. It's just someone's opinion, and everybody's entitled to it. I'll never ever start arguing with somebody, ever. There's better things in life than arguing, isn't there? Much better things in life to be getting on with than arguing with people. So I appreciate all the comments, I really do. And I know I'm slow at reading some of them sometimes, but and some of them are very helpful. Numbers on that bit of the frame. I will do a number plate. So, you know, I'm not tampering with the numbers. Not like they're being ground off and then re-stamped like some dodgy people are doing. As for custom work, I've probably done far worse things over the years. Not obviously dodgy, but you know, pushing it a little bit of what you've really allowed to do, or probably pushing it too far what you've really allowed to do. Hey, it's what some of us do, isn't it? I'm pretty confident that it's going to be okay. It's definitely not an MOT issue. I know that for a fact. All the MOT people are interested in is seeing a number there. Yes, don't get me wrong, if they see a bike or a car where it's been visibly ground off and someone's tried terribly stamping it all again, then something dodgy is obviously occurred. But this will be all brand new, and I will make a nice plate for the numbers. Now, I've been thinking a lot about this one. I've no idea how many bikes I've built. I've not been able to keep any of them. Not a single one. Basically, you spend so much time on them and put so much money into the parts and the build that the time scale I don't even like to think about. At the end of the day, I enjoy it, but you have to try and get a return off them when you're finished. You know, you could be spent months on these things and you have to try and get a return off them. Like I say, I would love to be able to keep this. I'm going to try everything I can to keep it, because I think it's going to be a great bike, a really good go-to bike to use and go and have some fun on. So I was thinking, when this is finished, is to do a big trip on it. So obviously each year I do like to go into Europe for a road trip. I was thinking of a off-road trip. Now, a friend of mine who sort of sowed the seed with this idea, because I think he is looking out for one to build as well, sent me some maps of each individual country, like Belgium, France, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. You can get across these countries virtually off-road Don't get me wrong, there will be some tarmac work, but you can virtually get across Europe off-road. And I thought, what a fantastic end to the build that would be, and the ultimate test for the bike. You know, load it up, camping gear, go camping in the Swiss Alps, Austrian Alps, but get there off-road. I think it would be an amazing end if I can keep this bike. I'm going to try everything I can to do that. I don't know, sell lots and lots of things and stuff as the build goes on, so we can keep the bills getting paid and things like that, and yeah, keep it. That's the plan, and I'm going to try and do it because I think that'll be most enjoyable. And obviously I'll film the whole thing, and I think we could probably see some amazing places going across Europe off the beaten track. I think it would be a proper lifetime trip. It would be awesome, but we'll see how that goes. It would be just a nice ending to this build if I can do that. If it's not to be, it's not to be, but I'm going to give it a go. Anyway, I think that'll do for now. It's just a little catch up just so you can see what direction we're going in. All that's subject to change, obviously. Different bits I'll make will probably end up in the bin the next day and all that sort of thing. You know, all the usual stuff that normally happens in here. I'm thoroughly looking forward to getting stuck into this bike. So what I'll be doing, you see, is doing this. I'm going to try and get 2 videos a week out on this build. So half the week I'll be on this, and the other half of the week I'll be on with all the other jobs that I've got to catch up with, frames and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to try for 2 videos a week on this bike, maybe 3. We'll see how it all goes as we go along. Well, I think that'll do. Yeah, that will do. So the draw for the Enfield is imminent. Tracy's just catching up, getting the rest of them out, and then she'll be doing all the print offs of all the copies, and we'll get you all in the act. And good luck to every single one of you. And again, very much appreciated. You've all been amazing on that, and I'm extremely grateful. Anyway, that'll do. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.